And it says we're live.
Yeah, lies.
Ah, my hands are numb.
My hands hurt
Yeah.
a lot right now.
All right. Do your thing.
Oh, right. Thank you. Right. Thank. Okay. You want to keep the heat going, and you do want to keep the heat going because arthritis in hands and hips, and it was 25 degrees this morning in Texas. The hell is this bullshit? Anyway, so donate here to the Stop Ian's Hands and Hips from Hurting Fund. If you like coffee, and I drunk a lot of coffee this morning, and you should too, you need to order it here. When you do, be sure you let them know you heard about it from us. So maybe it'll prime the coffee pump.
Yes, and happy Sam Hain to everybody.
Take what back? What are we taking back?
The weather.
Yeah.
Northern weather can go back.
Yeah.
Well, it's still so stupidly bright out there. You want to punch somebody, but I mean, yeah,
Yes.
it's cold. So
Indeed. Hang on a second. I'm letting various people know that we're up. All right. Yeah. Global warming might came
All right.
in. John has said the frost is so pretty this morning. It's Texas in October. We don't do frost in Texas in October. That's just shit not right.
Yes, happy dressed like a weirdo day. Oh,
I used to have a button when I lived back in Eugene that I wore. I said, "Welcome to Eugene, where every day is Halloween," because you couldn't really tell. Is it really Halloween today? How would you know?
Yeah.
So,
You know the difference. So we've got multiple books coming out. Kelly Grayson has a new entry in his Cecil the Combat Wombat series, I guess, entitled Platypus Platoon. It's up for pre-order. So find Kelly Grayson. It's Cecil the Combat Wombat Platypus Platoon, and hit the order button on that.
it is up on Amazon.
Yeah, for pre-order.
Yeah.
It's 99 cents, folks, and it's got a really awesome platypus on the front.
Yeah.
Kind of scary. Our very own Cedar has doing up The Groundskeeper, My Ghoul, Groundskeeper 3, apparently, book 3 of The Groundskeeper. Easy one to find. It's got a woman with purple hair running out of a cemetery, which, quite honestly, interests me. No, it's Sanford. Cedar, Sanfordshire. Cedar, Kelly. Today the openings for The Man Was Dead When I Got There
closed. Closes today.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God. We have stories. Good Lord, do we have stories?
Hey, Kelly.
Kelly on?
Yeah, Kelly just hopped on.
Oh, sweet. Outstanding.
And apparently it's about you, the book, Sergeant McMurtry. So.
Kind of scary. So let's see.
As usual.
Moggy's Back in Space.
And I got to show this one. That's my granddaughter out in California for the Halloween at the school. And of course, it was freezing, and she was carrying her sweatshirt rather than wearing it.
Kids.
It's kids, yeah.
Kids.
At least she had it.
Yeah.
She took it with her, didn't leave it on the bed.
Yeah. Mama made sure of that.
Bloody cold. It's freaking cold here. It sucks. This is North Texas in October. It should not be frost on the ground. My hands hurt. Not enough tramadol in the world. Let's see. Moggy's Back in Space hit the orange tag of greatness
Twice now,
and it's still there.
Well, no, actually, it's 3, and we have 3 and 5 right now with Moggy's and All Will Burn.
Oh, it finally
keep
dropped?
bouncing back and forth. So
Yeah, and All Will Burn is still. It hasn't come out of the top 10 yet.
no, it isn't. It hasn't dropped below 6 for a while. So
Yeah.
we're okay with this.
Yes. So Thank you. Thank you for buying the books from our little press. Thank you very much. Old masturbation. Boy, the chat is spicy today.
Yeah.
This chat there. So,
It's like, no, way too much knuckle jousting at 3 a.m. with drunks. When you're 5'11", 5'10", and slim built, Jack Daniels tells North and West Texas drunks, "Hey, you got a shot."
Yeah.
Not just North and West Texas.
Yeah, that's the only place I've worked. So it's like I show up, drunks want to fight.
Yeah.
My hands hurt.
Yeah. I do want to mention one other book. Larry Lambert, a friend of mine, has a book out called Broken Toys.
Larry's on here somewhere.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hello, Larry. Anyway, excellent book. It's very much inside baseball stuff. And if you played in that world, you will recognize a number of the players and a number of the situations. Highly recommended. Larry knows exactly what he's talking about. So if you want to know what the real world, i.e., the one that the mainstream media and most people refuse to cover and or think about, go read it. It's worth it.
Folks, this is what color I normally am. My hands right now are white.
Yep.
My hips hurt, my hands hurt, I'm grouchy.
Okay, so your hips hurt, your hands hurt, you're grouchy, so everything's normal.
For winners, yes.
I'm saying that would be different. How? So.
My hands really hurt. That 25 degrees was not
Yeah.
kind to me.
I went out to smoke a cigarette this morning, went right back in, put a sweatshirt on before I went back out. Yeah. You people in Europe are white and we're pale blue. Yeah. Well, you kind of get stuck with it sometimes.
How about the library antho?
Right now, I need to get back with Amy. I think we are just about ready to go live. I'd hope to have it live today. We'll get it sorted out. Yeah, back locked up. Yeah. I know that feeling well. When you get folded and spindled and find out you have 2 ribs out of place instead of just the normal one, it gets painful.
Yeah.
I want to just chat for a minute about what's going on over Israel and other places. One of the things that is being ignored by most of the media is the fact that there are Palestinian Americans that are also trapped in Gaza. They have been offered free pass to get out of Egypt, get out of Gaza by both the Israelis and the Egyptians. All they have to do is get to Rafah Gate and they can leave.
Okay.
However, Hamas is refusing to allow them to get to Rafah Gate. And they are not sure how many are actually there. Some estimates run as high as 300 to 400 who are Palestinian Americans, dual citizenship, that cannot leave. The other thing is the Hamas infrastructure, if you will, is in the tunnels under the major hospital in Gaza City.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, they are using John Q. Public over there as human shields.
They always do. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Because they're terrorists.
Yep.
Not freedom fighters, they're terrorists. They maximize casualties on their own side for PR, for public relations gains.
Yep. And they have at least 2 of the big hitters in Hamas. One is living in Qatar.
I can deal with never mind.
Well, it's actually Qatar is the correct pronunciation. But he is living high on the hog over there based on the money that he is getting from a number of sources. Another
Oh,
high
but
up
the high brass in Hamas they're rich.
is living in London. I would not be surprised to see those two go away.
I need to.
Yeah, they need to. And
Especially in
especially in London.
no London. Actually, London be a little harder than. Sorry, old term for Qatar gutter is gutter, as in
Yeah.
where this garbage runs in this beside the streets. It'd be easier to whack him in gutter at would London. London
Yeah.
is, but
The full might of His Imperial Majesty's weight will come to protect them in London.
Well,
And-
that and the mayor of London is
Yes.
Islamic.
it's not necessarily that. It's London's a high trust society, and gutter is not.
Yeah.
It's easier to get away with shit in a low trust society, especially if it's black bag and you're sneaking
Yeah.
axes, ambush axes, and assholes. Excuse me, hit hatchet, hand grenade, and haul ass.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier in a low trust society than it is in a high trust.
But I would not be surprised if Mossad got their act together and made them both go away.
Oh, that'll be later. Mossad's busy trying to figure out how the hell they missed the human on this one.
Well, part of that is the people in charge over there, because Israeli as a politics were fractured.
Oh yeah.
And that, I think, played into it. And I also wonder how much our intel people were not sharing with them. There are,
I don't know it's a case of not sharing as it is our intel services have a nasty case and always have. Larry can back me up on this. And if Greg's on here, he can do the same thing. Nasty case of confirmation bias going both ways.
but I think there's also been I hate to say it this way, but a pullback of sharing of information under this administration.
That would not surprise me.
Not surprising at all.
Of course, it could be just from sheer incompetence too.
Yeah, there is that.
Uh,
And yes, Raptor, you are correct. British law enforcement has been ignoring the rape gangs and sex trafficking,
Actively ignoring.
actively ignoring it in a number of cities in England
Rotterdam.
Yeah.
and Rotterdam. Yeah.
So I discovered something, put it on Facebook, and catching a bit of blowback from people that aren't suffering from some of their own confirmation bias. The Islamic Council I think it's the Islamic Council, in one of the holy cities in Iraq, back in March, prior to the invasion, issued a fatwa against Hamas.
Yeah.
Which just, and I've got the entire document, and I downloaded it and read it, and I've sent it to a couple of people. And the fatwa is damning. It really is. The whole bunch of folks are done with Hamas. I can't understand. Well, actually, I can. I can't understand why this isn't more news. The one of the things I love about the Arab mind is their appreciation and love of scholarship.
Yeah.
You get somebody that has to make a case, and an Arab can make a case, and they do. They make a 40-page case for why anybody praying for, supporting, joining, or saying nice things about Hamas is fucking up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting read.
It is. It's a great read.
Yeah.
I say the first things they lay out, because they're Arabs,
Yeah.
they lay out the reasons why they have jurisdiction over this.
Yep.
And it's beautifully, elegantly written. Then they lay out 22 charges, and then they find for every one of the 22 charges.
And Tom wants you to put a link in the to the
Oh.
fatwa.
The Islamic Council's website has gotten overrun
So
Because
YouTube will likely bounce us for that, but we can send them directly. So
I've got the PDF.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to put the PDF in. I snatched a PDF so I can read it, and then I put it on a couple of places. And apparently, a lot of people read my crap.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why.
Well, put it on Facebook again.
I did. I put the link on Facebook. I can't put the PDF because it's 40 pages,
Yeah.
and everybody going to the site is apparently overwhelmed the site.
Can you put it on your blog?
Oh yes. When I'm done here, I'll put up my blog.
Link it to the North
Well,
Texas
Yeah,
troublemakers.
I'll have to put the PDF file on my blog because, like I said, the links do you no good because they're overwhelmed.
Yeah, Greg chimed in and said Iran also trained Hamas to defeat and spoof the Israeli intelligence sources and methods. Yeah.
Well, ish. Iranians aren't all that in a bag of crisps. They're decent mid-level intel folks. As far as defeating,
Well, their IT and hackers are pretty good because most of them are U.S. trained.
if they're up against the Boy Scouts, yeah, I think they could
Yeah.
spoof Boy Scout intel. They got lucky.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes is they got lucky. That's a simple fact of life. Sooner or later, God blanks. And that happened for the Israelis.
Well, as we discussed last week, sources and methods and the actual reports often get changed.
Yes. Don't get me started. We're supposed to be light and fluffy, and I'll pop an aneurysm if we
I don't
get.
know. I think I thought it was light and fluffy. Speaking of that, it's now in the file section in the North Texas Troublemakers Facebook page. So just you can go download it from there.
Thank
Put
you.
it there.
North Texas Troublemakers file section. The PDF is there.
And we'll see how long Facebook lets us have it. So, should be entertaining.
I have this middle image.
5,
I have this middle image of Facebook HQ red alert sirens. Whoop, whoop.
Frank just started drinking again.
and yeah, Frank is probably into his 15th bourbon already.
Yep.
Frank's liver is crying in the shower.
Yeah. Frank is making calls as we speak. Yep.
Well, Frank is probably ready to implement another clone.
Yeah.
So anyway, light and fluffy, light and fluffy, light and fluffy. Fuck, I don't know if you got light and fluffy.
I mean, it's like, that's a happy light and fluffy.
Frank's liver marked 4.
Poor thing.
For those of you that actually read my Facebook, and a lot of you don't, we got the kittens rehomed sometime back. Well, apparently, somebody who, and I do quote, has the biggest blue eyes this side of an anime festival has apparently been feeding the feline welfare queen a can of food twice a day. Well, not last night, but night before last, somebody, the owner of said big blue eyes, hit me with a boo-boo lip about she might get cold. So my dumbass was out on the front porch after dark at the beginning of the first winter storm of the season in my jammies, making a cat cave. There's your feel good. If I could catch her, one of the things about the cat cave, and I guarantee you she's not using it, because I will slam the gate shut on that thing with a quickness and take her to the local snip and strip.
Yeah.
And get her fixed.
The things we do for love. Yeah. That and not have to live on the couch.
Kelly, I feel your pain. Solidarity, brother.
Why am I imagining his jammies having little pink hearts all over you?
Nope. I have Stuart Tartan because my clan is Stuart of Butte. I have Stuart Tartan jammies, as one would expect. I know we don't have a cat. The front porch has a cat that Rita feeds.
Because
You don't look at me like
the
that.
puppies would kill the cats.
That and Rita's allergic. Rita is allergic to cats, which is why one of the reasons she has not been allowed inside. Our geriatric dachshunds might give her a bit of, she's not a big cat. our geriatric dachshunds might give her a bit of trouble, but I'm willing to bet that after 2 or 3 high-speed laps around the walls up near the ceiling, they'd knock that off.
Footsies and drop butt panel.
Find one in
Union suit. Yeah.
Stuart hunting tartan. I would.
Oh, I think you just presented the people with a challenge, Ian.
BUTE. It's not the main Stuart clan. It's the it's an offshoot. Apparently, I thought Rita was too allergic to cats to get that close. No.
Oh no, she can pet them.
She has a stack of cat food. I'd noticed little tin cans of 9 lives, two for $1 at Dollar General. She has a stack of cat food cans, and when she goes by, she pops the lid off one, drops on the porch, and the cat, because cats, she's a welfare queen. It's a Courtney, she's a welfare queen.
She's not the
It
welfare
is.
queen.
She's
No,
not the welfare
No,
queen.
the cat.
Not you.
My cat.
I was about to throw things.
If that cat gets named anything, it's going to get named Dependa, because it is a Dependa.
You just walked in an inappropriate moment. That's all.
Apparently so.
I do not have cat.
You have cat.
No, I don't. I have 2 dachshunds. I do not have a cat.
You have cat.
Oh,
Pretty sure that either the 2 cans of cat food a day are putting on weight, or little hussy's been shaking her ass in the wrong part of town again.
well, it's been a couple of months, so she's probably pregnant
Knocked
again.
up again.
Yep.
And for a welfare queen, that's not the wrong part of town.
Yeah.
Got to keep the ADC coming in.
So I'll see if I can get her snagged and get her off to the local snip and strip and then I'll get her ear clipped and dump her back on the front porch where she can keep the local rat population down. See if I can put the brakes to this rampant feeding of Dependas.
Yeah.
If she's getting 2 cans of food a day, she's not bothering the local rat population.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sailors and Grottweilers. Wow.
Oh.
So anyway, why does the cat food smell like chloroform, right?
Yeah.
Well, I found Rita bought a cat bed, a little fluffy cat bed with the cover that it looks like a bassinet.
Yeah.
It's Rita. And so I found went digging through the house and found one of the green Christmas tubs that it would actually fit in, and cut a door in the side and then sealed the bottom and stuffed a drug rug in there with the cat bed. And hopefully she's using it. And hopefully I can catch her using it so I can stop up the door and take her in for tuna.
Ben, I'm not sure if a box arrived and where it was sent. Ben Hunziker wants to know if the box arrived.
Not yet.
Uh,
Likely today. If it was in an Amazon truck that was abandoned in Alvord, though.
Yeah, apparently. That's another thing we did on Facebook. John and I were sitting here. We're eating lunch, happy as a clam at high tide. And it was prior to noon. And the post guy walks in. It's like, and John goes, "You're early."
Like an hour early.
Yeah, like an hour early. And he goes through this list. He looks at us, goes through this list. Mail truck broke down. Okay. The Amazon truck hit a low-hanging branch in Alvord, and the driver drove it to City Hall, locked it, and walked away. Then he went into about 10 minutes on why he might do that. That was amusing. And then,
Involved warrants and felonies.
yeah, primarily warrants and felonies. And then we found out that between here and the Metro Mess, there's Punjabi Dhaba. It's an Indian place on 287 between Alvord and Decatur, I think.
Yeah.
And Rita loves Indian food. She loves that place. Apparently, it got raided Friday
Oh boy.
for human trafficking and narcotics trafficking.
what a surprise.
And
So-
the one in town got closed too.
Yeah, and apparently we didn't know that it had a branch in Itchy Paw.
Yeah.
And when I told Rita, baby, your favorite Indian place on 27 got raided, she immediately headed over to the only Indian place we know of, and it's closed.
Now the Claminays is still sitting there.
Alaska Indian place.
What?
The food is really good there. Get it?
Well, I just wonder if they're Pakis
Uh,
because I didn't think they were the pure Indian.
Punjabi could be. It's probably Paki.
Yeah.
The only name I can find in Dallas is Singh, which is Sikh.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean he's actually a Singh.
Well, you'd have to see him and see what his headdress and his beard looked like.
Yeah, but woo. It's like, and of course, it's like, honey, Punjabi Dhaba. And she said, "Where's that?" I said, "It's your Indian place on Tweez." "Oh, why is it closed?" I said, "It got raided by 10 different agencies." And I'm here to tell you, 10 different agencies is they done good.
Yep.
For certain qualities of good.
Yeah.
So she immediately gets a hunger for Indian food and heads over to the one here in Wichita. It's closed too. Well, baby, that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Because they were part of the raid.
Yep.
And
Now, whether they were a precursor or not is yet to be known.
We have opinions about this.
although I was like, the restaurants that are fronts for the mob are always good. So
Yeah.
like, I'm not surprised that the food is good. I just think
Some of the best Chinese food I've ever had was served to me in literally 100 miles from nowhere in northern Nevada by a Japanese guy with tattoos from his chin to his knuckles.
In other words, Yakuza.
No, he's just well tattooed.
Some of the best Italian food I've ever had was in a little waterfront place in Japan.
Do you know what? Just about every off ramp and big rest stop on I-80 from east to west, there's a Chinese buffet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I wonder what's going through there.
That's
No
so
cats.
when the tong or the triads
Yeah.
they get soldiers out, they rotate through the buffets till
Yeah.
the heat dies down.
Financial district in London. Yeah. I tend to stay away from the Indian food in London because it's too damn hot.
British Indian food is a lot like Texas chili or Texas Mexican food.
Yeah.
They go more towards the masochistic side of things.
Yeah.
A vindaloo in India or a vindaloo in Africa served by Indians is
It's
pleasant.
mild.
It's pleasant. A vindaloo in Edinburgh will set your tooth enamel on fire.
That's because everything else is so tasteless there. So
But
Oh,
there's
yes.
no excuse for that level of heat in Vindaloo.
Well, and
unless they burned off all the rest of their taste buds.
yeah.
yeah, it's no, I don't do Indian food in if I'm in England, I don't buy Indian food. Get your Cornish pasty or fish and chips
Yeah.
or
Tom says the best Chinese food he ever had was in Mombasa.
Yeah.
Revenge
That's-
cuisine, yeah, that's possible too.
well, it's and it's overcompensation. The English hauled off and conquered the British conquered the entire world looking for spices. They never used any of them.
Yeah.
So that's one food will use spice on this, and they use spice on it, and they need to stop.
Well, I think most British food is a result of a dare.
Scottish food certainly is.
Yeah.
That's the dare. It's the spicy wings challenge. Only
For a country that gave us Worcestershire sauce,
Yeah.
which is glorious, the rest of their food is just, and you can't have Worcestershire sauce on everything all the time. It's just you can't.
A full English breakfast is a marvelous thing. However, you don't eat there after breakfast time.
No,
No.
I love bangers, bangers and mash. Our little pub here at Itchy Paw serves bangers and mash, and I friggin' love it. If I could get them to stock Nando's lemon and herb sauce, I'd be in hog. If they let me bring it in, I'd be in hog heaven because bangers with lemon and herb is good stuff.
Yeah.
Dino nuggies with lemon and herb is good stuff. Anything with Nando's lemon and herb is good stuff. To come to think of it.
Yeah. David says much of the English cuisine is derived from the creative things sailors came up with on long voyages.
Well, okay.
That and the fact that they didn't have any friggin' spices on the boat.
Well, not only that, but it's England. There are no spices grow naturally on that island.
Yeah.
So you're the hottest spice you got is water.
Yeah.
Maybe some onions, and they're mild onions at that.
Worcestershire is just English garum.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah, it is. There's I heard Rita giggling a couple months ago, and she was. I do one of my favorite home cooks on Reels is Pepper Belly Pete.
Yeah.
That does these little short cooking videos, and he calls it "Wash Your Sister Sauce."
Yeah.
And Rita heard that, and she did that.
The giggling is epic.
Actually, from
That's
the
exactly what
from
she
the
sounded
books
like.
I've known, what it's actually supposed to be called is Worcester sauce.
Yeah. Worcester. Yeah, wash your sister. He said, "Wash your sister sauce," and she giggled for 15 minutes. It's like,
Yeah. Speaking of which, there's that one Brit that is doing the medieval cooking.
Only one? There's so many more.
Well, I saw one,
Yeah, there's a bunch.
and he was doing the garum sauce,
Mhm.
and he's kind of looking at it after he got it mixed and said, "Well, I guess I'll try it." And the expression on his face was absolutely hilarious. And he said, "Okay, that's how you make it. And if you want to do it, go ahead, because I'm not touching that again."
Worcestershire sauce. You start with a tub of well-rotted anchovies.
Yep.
It goes
Yeah.
downhill from there.
Oh, Worcestershire sauce is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of my, it's one of my favorite things, other than Nando's lemon and herb and ranch. Rita,
What do we have here?
Rita
Well,
dislikes.
I published way
Huh?
back in the dark ages.
Rita can't understand why I like a ranch dressing. I love ranch dressing
Well,
on
I
a
have,
lot of things.
I have to say, people talk bad about steak sauces. You should never have to use a steak sauce if the steak's any good. But I always said if that's what you like.
Yeah.
But my thing about A1 sauce is, to me, A1 is nothing but thickened Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Wash your sister sauce.
But you have to say Worcestershire.
Yes, Nancy, it actually goes back to the Roman legions. That was one of their drinks.
The sauce.
They also poured it over some of their food.
Steak sauces for steak. I don't. Again, if I get a good steak, and I was somebody on Facebook was asking about steakhouses in Amarillo. If the Big Texan was any good, don't eat the Big Texan. Go for the roast and the salad and the football-sized baked potato and the cobbler, which you have to eat all of that in an hour.
Yeah.
If you want to go, just book a suite at North Texas State or the High Plains Hospital. If you want a steak in Amarillo, it's Red River, which is a local panhandle chain, or Saltgrass.
Yeah.
If you want a chicken fried steak, there's a lot more places to get chicken fried steak. But if you want an actual decent steak,
Yep. Saltgrass.
don't go to Hofbrau, and for God's sake, don't go to Outback.
Yeah.
Saltgrass, which is, in my opinion, the best steak chain or chop chain
Yeah.
there is. Or the best one is Red River, which is the local.
Yep.
If
If you want chicken fried steak, go out to the sales
the cattle auction.
cattle auction. Yeah.
There's a there's a little restaurant where they auction cattle. Wow,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of money goes through there.
Yeah.
And they like their food. So wow. Oh.
Same thing with the Stockyards Cafe down in Fort Worth.
Mhm.
That's been in business since the 1880s, I think.
As long as Fort Worth's been there.
I don't care where in the country it is. if there's a stockyard auction, even if it's in a little podunk town in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, that just does local.
Yeah.
The food is as good as you're going to get for that area.
Because a lot of money goes through those stockyards, and they want good food. I don't know about Hofbrau's anywhere else. The Hofbrau in Amarillo is meh. When I say meh, when they bring out the steak, one has to be medium rare. He doesn't. I know. It has to be medium rare. And I don't like a whole bunch of spice crust on my steaks. The Hofbrau I brought out, they brought out, they had a little 1/8 of an inch crust of spices. Like, okay. I just a little pepper, little cracked black pepper, little salt, maybe a bit of garlic, but let the flavor of the steak shine through.
Yeah.
But the Hofbrau, they pat a layer of spices on there that after it gets off the grill is 1/8 of an inch thick. But I was going back to steak sauces before. Yeah. Sometimes they're necessary. Much as I love a steak, there are a lot of places just flat don't know how to cook steak.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in England.
Or in New York City.
I've been told there's good steaks there. I don't know that.
Why when you said New York City today, see that you got cowboys sitting around the campfire and Ricky County sauce is made in New York City.
I've been to New York a couple times, and I was there in New York City. And I was there long enough to the first time to get mugged in the airport friggin' parking garage, and two, long enough to pass through on the way somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, Nancy, I'm sorry. She says I'm taking a steak out of the freezer to thaw now. She
Fresh
found it.
lamprey with hot sauce.
That's a 14th century cookbook that we republish.
So moving on.
Are you saying you're not fond of lamprey?
The thought of lamprey just does not settle easy upon my stomach.
Yeah.
The people folks that know their way around meat, God bless them, are the Argentinians and the Brazilians. Those folks know how to cook a steak.
Yeah.
They really do. Americans, the best American chop houses are right up there with the best Brazilian or Argentinian chop houses. But there's a lot of folks that the steaks are too thin. They're cooked over heat that's not high enough, and you just grab the A1 and go to town.
Yeah. Fogo de Chao is good. Brazilian Steakhouse is good.
The meat faucet?
Meat faucet, Texas de Brazil or Fogo de Chao. Rita introduced me to Texas de Brazil. Oh my God. Oh my God. Texas de Brazil. Wow. And I thought the salad bar right there, and looked at the salad bar, and Rita's pulling me back because I thought, salad bar, man, this is a world-class salad bar. She said, baby, no, you don't want to fill up your stomach. It's like, what the hell? And then I turned that thing over, and men with meat on swords showed up.
Yeah.
And they kept cutting medium rare steaks onto my plate, and I kept eating until I was in a meat coma. And it was glorious.
Remember when we did that in Houston?
Oh yeah, but it wasn't a chain. It was a churrascaria. It was a Brazilian steakhouse, but it wasn't a chain one. It was and holy guns.
They were all Brazilians.
Oh yeah.
And Johnny had never been to one. That just amazed me.
Yeah, I couldn't. As much as that man likes steak, he's never been to a Brazilian steakhouse. Wow.
Yeah.
Typical, it looks like a Texas de Brazil later. Yeah. If
Rick.
if you
Salad
like,
bars at a Brazilian steakhouse are cruel hoax.
Well, they're good. They're glorious. They're also a way to take up space so you can't get to the meat.
Yeah.
That was the first time I discovered picanha. Oh. I don't know why the cut of beef called picanha. Brazilian, they call it picanha.
Yeah.
Picanha, whatever.
Kinda.
Picanha. Isn't more popular in the States because that is a glorious cut of meat.
Guys, you're gonna have to bring me meatloaf today.
We can do that.
Making me hungry.
Meatloaf. But no, there's a place for their sauces. The pica peppa sauce is actually pretty much my favorite.
Yeah.
If I can find pica peppa, if I have to put sauce on something, like a steak or chicken, of all the commercial sauces, pica peppa is
Yeah.
joint. I don't mind A1. A1's good. Pica peppa is just a little better.
I'm laughing at Evelyn. And Evelyn says salad bars at Brazilian places are meant to be palate cleansers, especially if they have lamb as well as the beef. And Kelly comes back and says, the only place where you can have an unhealthy salad. When the salad bar has thick cut, full slices, and I'm talking almost a foot long slices of bacon on the salad bar, yes, you know you're in
There
trouble.
was salmon on the salad bar.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell do you find salmon on? Where the hell do you find salmon on a salad bar? Let's see.
Is there a photo to shower in Vegas?
Yes, actually.
We have to figure out how to get somebody to take us there. So.
Right.
Folks, is there a Fogo de Chao or Texas Day Brazil in Vegas? The ladies are asking.
I'm sure there is.
Because we're gonna be there shortly.
They're fit. For those of you who don't know, John and Courtney are going to go represent Raconteur Press at $20 to $50K.
And my entourage.
Yeah, and we have entourage.
When did this happen?
Wally and Michelle are coming along. We have entourage.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there is a Fogo in India. I've eaten at it.
I don't know there's so much an entourage as there are minions.
Yeah.
We can get them goggles and overalls and yellow shirts. So
Entourage for
I will take an entourage of one.
entourage for minions is like sanitary engineer for garbage men.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah. So, boy, we got off on food again.
Yeah.
Well, it's lunchtime. You're hungry.
On Tuesdays.
Kelly's being medical in the comments.
Finally, actually making comments about proper taking care of himself. So
Vegas PD alerted for action. Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
the lip.
Wow. No, it's like I said, pick a peppa. If I've got
Yeah.
HP is really good, but my cardiologist gets a stabbing pain right behind his eyeballs whenever I grab a bottle of HP sauce. Because there's a lot of salt in that. Oh, there's a lot of salt in
Yeah.
that.
And as we age, that's one thing we don't need as much of.
Well, my cardiologist wants me to take more salt into my diet.
Oh, low in the sodium.
That's interesting. Because most of the rest of us, they go, no more salt. No French fries.
And it's not our age.
Yeah.
They were telling us that at 20.
And they used to feed us salt tablets
Yes.
by the handful.
I remember in Africa, every medical kit, every first aid kit in Africa had a jar of salt tablets, a little bottle of salt tablets.
Yeah. A little jar of salt tablets and what was that damn Lomotil to
No.
stop you up.
Yeah. To jam a cork in things.
Yeah.
I remember in basic and AIT, I don't know if it's still true, but they used to have something called Lister bags, which were basically a canvas duffel bag with spouts on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They filled with water and salt.
Blister bags.
Yep.
Still have them. Because the water seeped through the canvas and the evaporation cooled it down.
Yep.
So instead of 100 degrees, it was only 80.
which
Was still good.
you still
Well,
still
I can
tasted good.
remember riding around the oil field, my uncle and my dad, years and years ago. I always had a water bag hanging off the front of the vehicle.
Mhm.
And it was, like you said, an old canvas bag. And that was your cooler of water.
I can remember seeing people lying on the ground underneath the Lister bags, pushing the spout and just letting the water pour into their mouths,
Um, yeah, it's,
which was much better than the guys that were trying to suck it out.
Yeah.
There's a really bad mental image.
Yeah.
Desperately trying to get that image out of my head. Yeah, in Africa, the bota bags.
Yeah.
The little leather or canvas. Basically, it's a kind of a curved canteen. Were much preferred over the steel or plastic canteens because one, the flavor imparted by the material was better.
Yeah.
And you do not want to drink out of a metal canteen in equatorial Africa in the summer
No.
because the makes nice tea.
Yeah. Yeah. Greg's talking about being over in Russia and having to monitor. And Loma Till was their friend because of what they were getting fed.
Yeah, no kidding.
We had, I remember a poor kid we had on our crew that decided he'd better take a tablet before we went flying. And he started feeling the urge while we were flying, so he took a second one.
Oof.
And 3 days later, we hauled his ass up to the hospital so they could
Take a jackhammer and knock that center block loose.
that poor kid.
People
Sorry for the medic wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
people look at me squirrely when I start telling MRE tales.
Yeah.
And I tell folks that after a month in the field, that you saved a packet of peanut butter from the original first gen MREs. You took a packet of peanut butter and Dr. Pepper,
Yeah.
and you went to the latrine, and you buckled yourself in on the throne, and then you swallowed the entire thing of oily peanut butter and shotgunned the Dr. Pepper, and then
Yeah.
hung on.
Greg says, got into a hot dog Moscow and it had fur on the inside. MREs for the duration. Oh, MREs. Oh, God.
You know, I remember-
Rejected by Ethiopians.
I remember the first generation MREs.
So do
I got them on occasion. And as all the horror stories I've heard about MREs, they were a nice change from C's.
I actually like sea rats.
We got occasional sea rats and lurp rats, lurp rations. Lurp rations
Yeah.
weren't bad. The only thing, the first gen, they had beef stew, and the beef stew was the only one I actually liked.
I like fruit cocktail.
The fruit cocktail cookie. The rest of them,
The strawberry cookie was better.
since because I was a sergeant, I always went last going by the box because the kids got first shot at the box MREs. The little bastards rat fucked the box MREs.
Of course.
So I would be standing there holding an MRE that said patty pork dehydrated, not for in-flight, pre-flight use, looking up at the ass end of a C-130. Remember one time we had a det at Fort Drum, New York, and I took a patty beef dehydrated, not for in-flight, pre-flight use, and left it on the driver's seat of a Humvee. And the raccoons got so pissed off at me, little bastards crapped in my duffel bag.
Oh, you got what you deserved.
I want to see what happened.
I got stuck up in Thule on watch when they had went to a whiteout condition. So I got to spend 48 hours sitting in the duty office while everybody else was either at the chow hall or at the bowling alley eating real food. And I was stuck eating MREs that had been sitting in the hangar for at least 5 years. It was not a fun experience.
Did you ever get a bad MRE?
Yeah.
One that gone off?
Yeah.
I opened up an applesauce one time and puked.
Yeah.
It was, whew.
I was looking out the window watching the Arctic hare being chased by the Arctic fox, and then watched the Arctic fox running away from the Arctic hare because the Arctic hares are carnivorous.
Protein is protein.
Protein is protein.
When you're out in the ice pack, protein is protein.
Yeah. And they were both living in the same snowdrift, one in each end.
I didn't mind sea rats. I had a P38 in my dog tag. Everybody did, which was stupid because I had dog tag silencers on.
Yes, Rick, it was the hangar was chilly. Yes, it was 60 below outside, ambient with 105 below wind chill. So yes, it was a tad chilly in the hangar.
I had 3 dog tags. Back in '85, I was issued 3 dog tags. You had the long chain that had the 1 dog tag and your allergy tag, your bright red allergy tag. And then there was a smaller loop that went around the big chain that had your second dog tag. Well, the first thing we all did when we got to station was we took the second one off and laced it into our boots.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how true this was. The common wisdom for young soldiers in the mid to late 80s was that if something catastrophic happened, your boots would survive.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how, but we all laced the second dog tag into our left boot.
Yeah,
And
the
then-
same thing with aviators. Now we knew for a fact that a lot of times the boot did survive,
So on the main
with or
dog
without the foot still in it.
the main dog tag chain, I had the dog tag with a silencer on it because we did a lot of sneaking. And I had the allergy tag with a silencer on it and a P38.
Yeah.
Clank, 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 clank.
Yep. P38 or P51. Yep. And you only got the P51s if you got the K rats.
The big can,
Yeah.
the huge
The
K-Rat
T-Rats,
can.
yeah.
But, P-38 and P-51s were both some of the most powerful things the Army Air Corps had during World War II.
Yes.
Military puns, not for the win.
Yeah.
I still got a bag of with a gun show, and somebody was selling Ziploc bags of the P38 can openers, and I bought, I think, for like $2.
Well, wasn't it Jim that was giving away
Yeah.
the cans of emergency can openers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that were inside a can that had to be opened.
Yeah.
I've got a bag of little darlings somewhere because they're so handy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Tom, that's the other reason that they took footprints was the foot inside the boot. They could still get your footprint. Yeah. That was kind of an odd thing to do, but yeah. I remember that.
I know we laced them into our boots.
Yeah.
That was conventional wisdom. And I came down from the first sergeant. So same first sergeant that chewed my butt up one side and down the other. I'd gone through basic training and AIT, and first job as a small arms specialist in the division shop, ironing and starching my uniform.
Yeah.
And then I OJT'd over to Cav Scouts and got the roundest ass chewing of my life for having a starch and press uniform. Because apparently no bush in nature is starched and or
No.
pressed. Also, no more spit shines on the boots, which I didn't mind quite so much.
Of course, you're talking about that. And I'm wondering, did you ever do guard mount when you were in Cav?
Yeah.
Did you get gigged for the dog tag in the boot when you were doing guard mount in Cav? In the infantry, at least the unit I was in, when you did guard mount, if you had the dog tag laced into your boot, then you failed.
Really?
Because it had to be on the chain. You had to have both of them on the chain.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's the Army.
Well,
it's the different naval aviators versus Air Force aviators. Air Force starches flight suits, shines flight boots, and you're going to wear the little friggin' dicky.
everybody knows why your dog chains are beaded, right? Because they'll break.
Yeah.
If there's any pressure, the beaded chain breaks. Winkler is saw a lot of kids putting their dog tag chain through the 550 cord.
Yeah.
I choked one out with his dog tag one time.
Yep.
Yeah, these things, they're designed to break. So if there's any pressure on your neck, the dog tag chain will break.
They're also designed to pull every hair off your chest.
Nope, I'm good.
Well, Rick, you guys wore coveralls anyway, so you know it's the once every 10 years change all the uniforms, so somebody else gets the contract. We went over 140 years without changing a Navy uniform, and then
I've got a massive case of the ass with the Navy about the friggin' blue camo uniforms for shipboard operations.
yeah, they're stupid.
You blend into the water if you go overboard.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep.
The hell.
Or as
Who
the
the hell thought
submariners,
that was a good idea?
blue coveralls.
Camo uniform, camo making you hard to find if you go overboard. It's
Yeah.
the same color as the ocean.
Yep.
It makes you harder to find. Who the hell thought that was a good idea?
The military, in its infinite wisdom,
Somebody should have been put in that, launched off a carrier
Yeah.
by catapult. Oh, we can't find you.
Some bean counter.
well, no, thing about it is it was all about morale because, if you're a rough, tough military, you got to have camouflage uniforms.
Yeah.
That's morale,
Goodness.
Just like we can improve morale by making everybody wear black berets.
Yeah. Yeah, AJ, you got
Don't
that
get
right.
me started on the berets.
Navy's over 200 years of tradition, totally unmarred by progress. Yes.
Well, why'd you start all those traditions, Jim?
Huh?
Why did you start all those traditions?
Well,
Read between the lines.
Quite honestly, for the and I don't know what they're called. I realize they're called something else these days, but the Army BDU, the camouflage uniform that everybody goes around in, should come with a boonie hat. Or patrol cap's okay, boonie hat, because redhead, light eyes, fair skin, boonie hat. And then
It's Julie says, Air Force wears camo as a sight to encourage military mindset. Like the Air Force ever had a military mindset.
berets
No?
outside of the hairy-chested, knuckle-drugging snake eaters, berets are special forces, rangers, airborne. Look good in berets. Everybody else needs to have a military piece of headgear.
Yeah.
This black beret for everybody annoys the crap out of me.
Well, I always liked the Dixie Cup because it was distinctive. Of course, I can't tell you how many tubes of toothpaste I went through cleaning that friggin' thing.
Berets, they don't function as they're not actual functional headgear. They're decoration.
And not good decoration.
Boonie hat.
Yeah.
Slap a camo boonie. God's own camouflage, God's own play. The M81 1980s woodland camouflage. Get a boonie hat and wear it with a uniform.
Yeah.
Baseball cap worked fine. The Army version of it with camouflage.
Yeah, Greg, that's a good point too. In the joint ops, all services mixed together, and some senior leaders were upset they couldn't tell their troops from the others.
Why do they care? Why do they care?
Because it's political at that level. You know that as well as I do. When you
Are
put on
they-
the star, you become a political animal.
I love the fact you could look out back in the 80s and you saw God's own plaid and you knew those were American troops. Didn't
Yeah.
matter if they're Marines or Army or whatever.
Yeah.
Those were Americans. You could look out the British DPMs and you knew that those were British troops. Didn't
Yeah.
matter if they were commandos or Johnny Grunt. You knew, oh, those are British, those are Americans. Shouldn't make a shit if they're Army or Marines. Doesn't matter. Well, I've got to memorize 14 different camo patterns to be able to IFF Americans. No, one camo pattern. Pick one.
Yeah. Well, it's all in the political realm at that point.
I like the one that matched the Paisley couch.
Yeah.
The camo that didn't blend to any environment except grandma's couch, that was brilliant.
Yeah. That was Air Force too.
No, the Army OCU or whatever the hell it was called was a stupid. The hell you gonna go with gray?
Nancy was talking about Cracker Jacks. Yeah, Cracker Jacks were warm. Those were the navy dress blues. But the problem was them damn 13 buttons on the pants.
When you were in a hurry.
When you were in a hurry. So the first thing everybody did, if you were smart, was you went out in town and got them to
sew a zipper.
No, sew in Velcro. Screw the zipper. Velcro is much faster.
I made a lot of money selling Velcro.
Yep.
Somebody's going to the bathroom.
Yeah. And then you would go to the Far East and you would get your gabardine dress blues with your roll-up sleeves with the either dragon or flags, depending. And each group had their own set of sleeves that they got. And that was how you could tell a Westpac sailor.
I remember reading the study that said of all the currently available camouflage patterns, the most effective and the most widespread, the one that worked in the most environments, was the old Rhodesian brushstroke.
Yeah.
Which we should have adopted. But because of politics, we didn't.
Of course, you were talking about the Cracker Jacks, and it's kind of off subject, but I was at a convenience store the other day, stopped in to get something, and look over, and it's no longer Cracker Jacks, it's Cracker Jills.
What?
Oh, yeah, the candy. Yeah.
What?
The caramel coated popcorn is not Cracker Jacks anymore, it's Cracker Jills. To empower strong women or something along those lines.
I could go so many bad places with
that. Now, Rick, the other thing we did was take and sew a pocket under the flap, and you'd stick a couple of bucks in it, so you'd always have a taxi fare home, or you would take a roll of dimes and roll it up in your neckerchief and tie it. That way you were kind of armed if you needed to be.
No, the brushstroke, I have a collection of very bright brushstroke, but the brushstroke is primarily browns with some greens in it. And there is more brown in the world than anything else. Everything that's actually black is not.
No.
The night is not black. The night's gray and kind of blues and purples.
Yeah.
You don't want actual black in the dark, in functional dark. Doesn't blend very well. You need actually the Cryptek. They get a whole bunch of crap, but they actually make some fairly decent camouflage.
Yeah.
We actually tested Cryptek and it came out pretty good. But the old Rhodesian brushstroke.
Yep.
Worked like a charm. It was browns and tans and some greens, so it blended more places than anywhere else.
But it wasn't invented here.
Yeah.
Well, also that was a political hot potato.
Yeah.
Boy, anything Rhodesia was a political hot potato. Woo!
And on that note, we've wasted another hour of your time, folks.
Holy crap, we have.
Thanks for putting up with us today. And yeah, go buy our friends' books.
Yes.
They're all good writers.
Kelly Grayson, Platypus Platoon, Cedar. I forget what Cedar's is called. Larry's.
Broken Toys.
Cedars is broken.
No, that's Larry's is Broken Toys.
Larry's is Go Small. I'm trying to think. It's the third Chloe story.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Cedars. Yeah.
Support starving authors.
Yeah.
And as I get further into this business, I discover that more authors are starving than you thought about.
interviewing Mr. Dr.
Oh,
James Young
yes.
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, tell
On
your
the podcast.
friends the podcast Three Moms of the Apocalypse. They're going to be interviewing Dr. James Young. You're really going to want to tune into this one
Well,
because
and also he's going to talk about his 3 anthologies that he's doing for us.
Yeah.
And explain why he's not the gynecologist. So,
And he has a new book out. Or we're
and he
having-
has a book out.
if you're wanting to write any of those 3 anthologies that we're doing with Dr. Young, you get to ask questions. You need to ask him where he got his degree in gynecology, please, and then record the response. And what
6
time?
p.m. tomorrow.
6 p.m. tomorrow?
6 p.m. tomorrow.
6 p.m. Central Time tomorrow.
The link's already up on the North Texas Troublemaker.
And link is up.
YouTube.
All right, folks. Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Y'all
And
be,
we'll see you Thursday.
y'all be safe.
Bye bye.